In this video, I'm going to share with you one tip that will make your funk rhythm playing really stand out. Coming up. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Ronquillo. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. So what does stank mean, and how do you make your playing stankier? Well, in musical terms, stank comes from stank face, which is the face one makes when something sounds really funky and grooves really hard, which is also the face one makes when one smells something they weren't expecting to smell. Yeah, you've probably seen the meme before, you know, it's the highest form of flattery one musician can give to another musician. Anyways, I'm gonna show you a cool rhythmic trick that will stankify your funk chops. Before we get started, if you're into these kinds of videos, make sure you click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay notified of whenever I go live or whenever I post a new video. So what we're talking about is 16th note triplets, and you can hear this in the playing of guys like Cory Wong, Mark Lettieri, and other stanky, funky players, and it sounds kind of like this. And on paper, it looks like this. Now don't worry if you can't read music or don't know rhythmic notation just yet. I just wanted to show you a visual representation of the rhythmic figure because it will make what I'm about to talk about easier to understand. So basically we're going to play around with this figure specifically, which is a group of 16th note triplets and then like an 8th note at the end. And I put the extra note at the end because just having 3 triplets kind of sounds awkward and can be kind of awkward to play. And the 8th note at the end, I think, helps kind of close up the phrase nicely and makes the picking pattern, you know, like an equal down, up motion. So the deal with this is we're going to play around with muted rakes and actual chord attacks or chord stabs. And we're gonna do this just in the key of E, E7, E9, whatever. I'm playing an E9 chord. But we're always going to end with a chord attack on the upstroke. So that last upstroke, we're always going to play. And that's kind of why writing these out helps with listing out all the different patterns that we can play. So for simplicity's sake, let's just take the stems off and we're going to denote a muted rake with an X and a chord with a slash. Not that kind of slash. So the first example I played was muted rakes on all the triplets. So the first 3 notes were muted rakes and a chord stab on the 4th note. So it sounds like this. So if the pulse is 1, 2. I'll play it a little bit slower. 1, 2. One, two. And you can start playing around with all these different rhythmic figures, like right on beat 1, or you can do it right on, you know, any downbeat for now. So here's how it sounds on every downbeat. 3, 4. And I'll show you all these figures in the context of a simple backing track. But one thing to remember when you're practicing this, play with a metronome, get it really slow so you get those triplets really locked in. Even if it's gotta be like, you know, super, super slow, like 50 BPM or something, you know? 1, 2, right? Triplet and, triplet and, triplet and.
Littering and littering and
littering.
So hopefully you can see what we're going to do now, which is add a chord stab in one of the triplet places. So basically replacing an X with a slash. So the next figure would be placing a chord on the first partial of the triplet. So it would be 3, 4. 3, 4, 1. Moving on, let's move the chord stab to the second partial of the triplet, and that sounds like this. 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4. And this is a figure that I like to play when I'm playing like a shuffle, whether it's a shuffle blues or some sort of shuffle feel groove. And now let's move that chord stab to the third partial of the triplet. And this one to me is a little bit awkward. I probably don't play this figure ever, but I guess I could start now. I apologize, I really wish I had a metronome playing, but I'll be my own metronome. 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. But we don't have to stick with just adding one chord stab within the triplet partial. We can actually do 2 chord stabs in that triplet. So let's start with adding 2 chord stabs on the first and second partial of the triplet. And that sounds like this. 3, 4. 3, 4. Moving on, let's put it on the first and third partial of the triplet, and it sounds like this. So let's do it slow. 3, 4. And lastly, let's put the 2 chord stabs on the second and third partial of the triplets. 3, 4. So obviously, the faster the tempo, the harder these are going to be to play. So definitely work on playing these at a slower tempo, and maybe try to work up on your metronome to a faster tempo to see how fast you can actually get stanky with these rhythmic figures. And like I said before, you can either play these right on the downbeat of 1, like I just did, or you can play them on other downbeats, or you can play them starting on like an upbeat. All right, that was my tip for you guys to make your funk guitar playing a little bit stankier. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Share this video with your family, friends, someone that is a fellow Prince aficionado. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, gear demos, or tone tutorials, make sure you click the subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. I'm RJ Ronquillo, and I'll see you in the next video.
Wow.
Bye.